Hi, how are you? Would you like to try the new soda today?
No thank you.
Okay, just a minute, please.
Okay. That's how you know it's a Southern California Wienerschnitzel. I like their lighter side menu. I think I'm gonna get my bananas from Wienerschnitzel from now on.
Alright, what can I get for you?
Hi there, can I get 3 kraut dogs, please?
Okay. What else can I get for you?
That'll do it.
10.50.
Thank you. Dzień dobry, people. Atticus Shaffer here. Welcome back to another episode of Atticus Eats. This one is very special, and boy, do I have some good stories for you. So today, we are going to be consuming a little Der Wienerschnitzel. Now, let me make a point here. Wienerschnitzel is not just Wienerschnitzel. It's not abbreviated. The full name is Der Wienerschnitzel. Kind of like KFC isn't KFC, it's Kentucky Fried Chicken. I don't know why people feel this need to abbreviate things, but, yeah, I'm gonna prevent myself from making a more worse comment than that. Anyway, it's Der Wienerschnitzel. I'm having a little Der today. I'm very excited about it. I have not had Wienerschnitzel in a long time. Where the one and only Wienerschnitzel that is near me is located, it is the part of the city that would be considered the hood. So because of that, I actually got out of that parking lot, because it's just a touch sketch. And I'm actually sitting here in front of I'm in the parking lot for the movie theater. Which, this is the movie theater that my mom and when I was growing up, Mom would take me to. This one and another one, but this is the one that we would always go to, because the Cupids that I used to frequent used to be here. And then through a long course of events that I still don't know about, fully and completely, the amazing Cambodian family who owned it, they sold it. And now it says here, it's 2 restaurants now. Oh no, it's just one. Something about Baconado's Colombian cuisine. Maybe we'll try it someday, but it's not Cupid's, and it's been a Cupid's there for pretty much my entire life, so that's heartbreaking. But, in lieu of Cupid's, we have the all-powerful and delicious Wienerschnitzel. I love Wienerschnitzel. This Wienerschnitzel actually has been around for decades, like going all the way back to the 80s. And actually, it's a Wienerschnitzel that my mom has frequented so often that my brother, when he was little, actually lost a tooth at that Wienerschnitzel. He bit into a hot dog, and boom, the tooth just came out, and it was sitting there sticking up out of the hot dog. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, we're gonna chow down here in just a sec. Alrighty. Let us bust open here the goods, as it were. Wienerschnitzel has a long-running history for me. I'm gonna share a very special story with you all in a little bit, but I am starving. It is a stream day. Oh, I think they gave me some coupons. How cool are they? It was a stream day, and it was the Tarkov wipe day today. That's an obscenely small hot dog. I now feel better about my decision. I got 3. I originally had told Mom I was just gonna get 2. And I feel a little bit bad because I got the extra one, but I'm starving. And so I'm gonna eat. Thrice. And also, again, they're ridiculously small. But, it's Wienerschnitzel. I mean, you can't go wrong with Wienerschnitzel. It's the Der. I'm gonna adjust you guys over just a hair. Maybe more than a hair. That's like a very long woman's hair. A woman's very long hair. English language. I spoke England since I was a child, Drin. I apologize to whoever I just gave a seizure to. Anyway, because I am of the great Polish Eastern European descent, I got kraut dogs. Because they're delicious. I'll be just a touch fartsy, but I'm always fartsy, so we'll just go with that. But, yum, yeah, look, it's a Wienerschnitzel, yeah. Mmm. Mmm. That is outstanding. Very soft bun. Just a little snap when you bite into the Frankfurter. Nice little kraut. Sauerkraut gave you that vinegary taste. Got the mustard. Also with that vinegary taste. Delicious. I wonder if this theater is playing The Way of the Water. Avatar, the first one. The first movie. Mom and I loved it so much, we actually watched it twice. And I first watched it up in Central California with my brother, actually, for Christmas. And then when Mom and I came back down here to Southern California, we were like, man, I kind of want to go out and watch that movie again. And so we did. We got Cupids and went and watched the first Avatar movie again. It was really good. Here we are, a decade later, and the sequel finally came out. My stand-in on the middle, she actually apparently worked on the second one. And she left us for a great deal of time because she made it big and she was working with James Cameron. So, that was a thing. I actually met his nephew playing Yu-Gi-Oh! At my local comic book shop. So. Hopefully put in a good word with his uncle. I love the Titanic. It's such an amazing movie. And Terminator 2. We won't talk about the other Terminators. Now that we chowed down on one of my kraut dogs, and I'm not in danger of getting hangry, I want to share with you guys my really cool story that I have associated with Wienerschnitzel. So, Wienerschnitzel has a very awesome place in my heart, and I have a long history with Wienerschnitzel. I love Wienerschnitzel. I think they're so good. And there's so few places left in Southern California especially, but quite frankly, well, I can't say nationwide, but in Southern California specifically, there's so few places left that just sell regular American comfort food. And that tastes good. You know, McDonald's is good depending on the day that you go there, but it's really expensive, and a lot of times I end up feeling really barfy afterward. And then, of course, there's the other restaurants like I've shared with you guys here. And there's definitely a time to get really good quality food that's like, has a little bit more of kind of like a different culture feel, like sushi as a prime example. Getting some really good Asian food. There's times to get some really good Mexican food. You know, I know that there's people that really like Indian food and the like. But I really like good traditional American comfort food, like hot dogs, you know, like kraut dogs and whatever it might be. But anyway, you guys, I wanted to share this story with you because Wienerschnitzel has a really amazing place in my life's history. So, back when I was 8 years old, and I was auditioning for the middle, the middle is hands down one of the longest auditioning processes and most involved auditioning processes I've ever done. The only project that beat it out as being the most involved and longest running was actually Frankenweenie. Frankenweenie took a year for me to get that job. A lot of different auditions and like different matching with different people and group tests, and is the sound consistent and inflection, and how does my voice age and all that other stuff, right? But the middle prior to Frankenweenie was the longest running audition, or the longest taking audition process that I had ever done for a job. And the thing is, too, is a lot of people don't know that when you're in the entertainment industry, especially if you're an actor, your job is to audition. You just so happen to get hired once in a while and make money from acting. And then when you get a job that's like the middle, where it's a lead on a network television series, that's like creme de la creme. That's one of the best jobs that you could ever get. And as you all know, and I've said this a number of different times in interviews and on streams, I am so incredibly thankful that I had that opportunity in my life. But at the time, I was 8 years old, and I probably had to do 4 or 5 different auditions over the time frame of about a month and a half to get that job. And it was the initial audition, and then it was the callback, and then it was 2 auditions worth of screen testing. And man, when I did the callback and the screen testing, I was as sick as a dog. I had gotten a horrendous cold, but the opportunity was so good. I literally remember in the first wave of screen testing, and for those of you who don't know, screen testing is where you're in front of more of the producers and the studio heads and the director and whatever of the project, and you're you are actually up, you know, in front of a camera. They test your screen, they'll compare you with other actors that are there and whatever. And so it was me, and it was only me and one other kid for the show. And when I did the first batch of screen testing, man, I was so sick. My mom laughs about it with me now, but I literally filled up a trash can in the office where the screen testing was being done, full of Kleenexes, just trying to blow my nose and be clear and not sound sick for going in and doing my audition of screen testing. But there was, you know, a ton of different Axels there, and Sues and Mikes and all that stuff. And remember, this is for the first pilot. So this is the first pilot that Ricky Lake was the mom in. And Lex Medlin was the dad. So I went and I did it, and then finally the last day of screen testing came along. It was the last audition, and like I said, it was just between me and one other kid. And it was in this big, tricked out, beautiful office building. That's the actual ABC office building, the ABC Network's office building. And it was just a beautiful building. We were way up in the air, and I was thankfully better from my cold by this point. And all of the studio heads were there. Peter Roth, the president of Warner Brothers, was there. Obviously, the creators of the show and the director and all that. Everybody was there. And they had this stage that you would go up on and you would perform. So it was almost like theater. So I went up on this stage and I performed, and there's an audience of about 20-25 people in front of me, and all these lights and cameras and stuff to do the screen testing. I did it, and I just you know, did my part, did my job, did my audition. I felt good about it. But then, as is typical in this industry, it doesn't matter how it does matter how you feel, in the sense of make sure you feel like you gave it your all and you gave a job well done, but then you have to let it go, right? And so I let it go, and what ended up happening is it was in the middle of the day, and we were all the way down in the Burbank, main part of Burbank area. And so what ended up happening is Mom and I, we were hungry. It was lunchtime when I finished my audition. And so we saw that there was a little Wienerschnitzel there. And it was one of the old ones where you don't eat inside. It's literally just an A-frame, and you do the drive-through, or you walk up to it, you get your food, and that's it. So Mom and I, we parked in the parking lot of that Wienerschnitzel, not this one here. Again, this is the one that's down in Burbank, right outside of where the ABC Studios is, and the office building for it is. And we pulled up and we parked, and Mom was just so proud of me just because I even got to that point in an audition process. She was so grateful with me, and of course, you know, I was 8 at the time, so she was the one running lines with me and all that good stuff prior to, you know, the audition. And so she was just grateful, and I was too, and I said that I felt that it went really well, and I was excited about it, and whatever. And so we went, we parked the car, got out of the car, went and ordered our food. We were the only people there at that Wienerschnitzel. They gave us our food right away. We came back and we started to eat. Well, when we started to eat, Mom got this phone call from my manager. And she said, I want to wish you so well and give you my congratulations because Atticus is now going to be on a network television series. He got the role. And Mom just started screaming and hyperventilating, and I did too, and it was just such an amazing moment in my career to be blessed with that. And of course, as I've mentioned multiple times, we did that first pilot with a completely different cast besides myself, and it didn't get picked up, but it never felt like it was over. And then one day I get a call from the creators of the show, and they say, we can't do the show without you as Brick. Will you please come back and be Brick? And my mindset is absolutely yes, of course. I would love to be this character again. I love this character. This character means so much to me. And I identify with this character so much. And then, of course, we did it again with a new cast. And then we got picked up. And the rest is history, as you all know. But yeah, Wienerschnitzel holds very, very good memories for me. And then, of course, that Wienerschnitzel also happened to be near the Warner Brothers Ranch where we were filming. And there was several different times where, when I was on the show, due to, you know, child labor laws in the industry and in the Screen Actors Guild, I would be entitled to what was called a second meal. So I would work enough time where it wasn't just lunch that I needed, but a second meal that I needed. And it was very often that I would say, hey, just have them go out and get me a couple kraut dogs from Wienerschnitzel on the other street. And they would go and they would do that. Craft services and transpo, they would run and get me that as my second meal. And so it was always really cool to be able to do that, you know. Eat a Wienerschnitzel, which is where I found out that I got the job at the job that I was working. So, very much a blessing. I hope you guys enjoy that story. Actually, I don't think I've told that story on any form of media until now, actually. I know I've told it privately to like friends and whatever, but I've never told that story on media until this point. So, YouTube, you're special. All of you awesome people who follow my channel, you guys are special. Someone left a Chick-fil-A cup in their parking space over here. What the deuce? Chick-fil-A is on the other side of the town. Why'd they bring that here? Matter of fact, why'd they leave it in their parking space? Is it a placeholder for them? Like a traffic cone? Some people's children. I tell you. Over here, too, it says, sushi, Japanese restaurant. They're straightforward. Might have to try that out sometime. That's not the one I go to. My brim is working for me. It's keeping the sun out of my face. Alrighty then. One more with gusto. Let's get here's a good comment discussion too that we can have tonight, you guys. But what condiments or toppings do you like on your hot dogs? From Wienerschnitzel, see, it's different depending on where I go. If I'm at Wienerschnitzel, it's kraut dog all the way. Mustard and kraut, sauerkraut, delish, absolutely outstanding. If it's Cupid's, it's the chili dog, chili and mustard. But if it's at home, where you get a pack of Oscar Mayer wieners and a couple of Ballpark brand buns, and you boil them up or you fry them up at home, it's either Hormel chili with mustard, or it'll be mustard and ketchup with my mom's cowboy candy, the pickled jalapeno coins. Oh my gosh. Or if we get coleslaw and mustard. And if that's something you never have tried, I'm telling you, my friends, try coleslaw and mustard. Sauerkraut and mustard's really good. Try coleslaw with mustard. It gives that sweet and a really pronounced crunch, but you get that tang of the mustard. Oh my word. So good. Mom and I, we went to a hot dog joint that's in Flagstaff. If you're in Flagstaff, you know which one it is. It's like the only one. And it's kind of the same style as a Wienerschnitzel, where it's an A-frame and you just have a drive-through. There's no way to eat inside. But we were up there, and there was this older guy who was taking the orders, and Mom saw that they had coleslaw on the menu, and she had asked for a slaw dog with mustard, and he custom ordered it, and he said, "Do you know I've never heard of that before? That's the first time I've ever had anybody say that to me, or order that. I'm gonna try that. That sounds really good." He was really cool about it, and Mom felt good about that too. She's like, "Oh, I'm a trendsetter," which she is. I mean, you guys know Mama Debbie is a legend. So, her recipes, man, her culinary skills are unmatched. Hey Bubba, I just saw your doppelganger walk by. He has United States Marine Corps pants on and a big t-shirt. Except he kept his hair. Your beard is a little bit better too. He's carrying a pink sippy cup. Never mind. No relation. My camera has a 24-minute limitation on a video file. That's weird. Don't know why that is. But whatever. I'll work with it. You guys, talking about trend setting, I think I want to set a trend, and I want to encourage you all. I feel like acronyms, and my mom agrees with me on this, we talk about this all the time, and I think that many of you will agree with this too. I feel like society today, especially on the North American continent, has become very dumbed down for a lot of different reasons. But I don't like acronyms. Acronyms bother me. Even in the military. I know that there's a lot of you military guys and girls out there who you need to use the acronyms in order to convey information very quickly over a radio. I get that. Like if you need to say FOB or the FOB or, you know, we're Oscar Mike or whatever it might be. I get that. But even then, back in the World Wars and Korea and all that, They didn't use acronyms like that. And they said what they meant, and they would go for it. And in society today, like, I get that saying Mickey D's for McDonald's is fun. But it's McDonald's. It doesn't take that much more effort out of your body to say the full word. Kentucky Fried Chicken. KFC. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Call it what it is. Call it Der Wienerschnitzel. So, my friends, let's set a trend together. Let's try to not use acronyms as much as possible. I mean, really. Especially when it comes to everyday things that we see here all the time, like McDonald's or Kentucky Fried Chicken or Der Wienerschnitzel. Let's call it what it is. Let's say what it is. Will you join me? We need to keep a lot of things alive, but the English language, like all languages, they should be preserved. You know? English and literature and all you know, literature, in art, in preservation of history and everything. It should be said the right way. You know, it should be said correctly. It shouldn't be LOL and SMH and LMAO. It just shouldn't be. The English language is so much more than that. And the more that I read personally, and the more that I view entertainment that's older, like from, you know, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and even going further back than that in reading literature that's pre-early 1900s and into the early 1900s, it was so much more rich and deep and intoxicating, and words could paint a picture in your mind and convey things in such a beautiful and artistic way. It's capable of happening. It can be done. We need to keep it alive, my friends. Yeah. Join me in that, friends. Let's do away with acronyms. Let's do away with abbreviations. Let's do away with abbreviations. On that note, my friends, please give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Share my video on all your social media. It'll greatly help me out and help support the channel. Also, check out my links down in the description box below. And because this video is going to be coming to you all after the new year, I want to wish you all a very happy new year and a blessed 2023. Let's make it a good one, my friends. I'll see you all in the next video or live stream, whichever comes first. Do widzenia.